I am Supernatural. My name is R.D. Caldwell Jr. And today I want to introduce you all to my mentor, Mr. Kevin Whatley. And I want to talk about today what he did to attain his level of success and all of the things and philosophies and principles that he passed on to me in order to reach my success. All right, Mr. Supernatural here, R.D. Caldwell Jr., and I wanted to start off this video. I wanted to introduce you all to my mentor, Kevin Whatley, because I wouldn't be who I am as a bodybuilder without him. So I wanted to introduce the world to the man behind Mr. Supernatural, all the accolades, accomplishments, everything that I've attained in bodybuilding is because of Mr. Kevin Whatley. So I wanted to introduce you all to my mentor, Kevin, and just kind of have a little discussion with you about how it all started.
I was pushed into it by my partner at the time, Mr. Pope, Mr. John Pope. I didn't even know what a bodybuilding show was. And, I was just working out, trying to stay healthy and learn a little bit as I go along. And he noticed me. He said, you build pretty good, man. Why don't you do a bodybuilding show? And I said, well, what is that? What's a bodybuilding show? And he said, come on, man. Give me 2 weeks with you and we're going to jump on stage.
2 weeks.
And me being, not going to turn him down, I said, okay, all right, let's do it. He said, I'll show you all the mandatory poses. And he said, there's a show down in Cincinnati, Ohio, Rick Ruther's show. Mm-hmm. And he said, we're going to just go down there and you just jump out there and do your thing. And I said, okay, all right, let's do it. And I went down there, man, and we had a ball doing it. And after that, it arose something inside of me that said, this is where you need to be. This is great. When I looked around the room backstage, I saw so many different cats looking so many different ways. There was so much information for me to gather that my eyes were opened. And I said, this is a whole nother world. It's a whole nother world. So I got into it, and I never stopped.
Let's go a little bit deeper, because we're actually speaking from a natural bodybuilding perspective, because we both compete naturally, lifetime drug free. So you started in the 90s. Before I get into that, it was a totally different era. So there were no coaches like there are today. There was no internet. We just had, because I got into bodybuilding in the 90s. I hadn't started competing yet, but we had the magazines. And like you said, like I did, I came to the gym, I found you, and do a bodybuilding show. Okay. And you just kind of do it. So more specifically, what was your diet like back then? Do you remember like your very first diet and how it kind of evolved, just speaking on nutrition?
Yeah, I really... I didn't have it down packed as to how many carbs to eat, when to eat them, how much protein that I need to sustain the muscle mass that I had, how much water I should drink, and then supplements. I didn't know what supplements to take, but I knew that I didn't want to do anything that was going to, in the long term, bring me down. So I wanted to lead a healthy bodybuilding style, not something that, if you don't work out for a year, you turn into a little mushroom or something. Mm-hmm. I wanted to just do something that I could do for the rest of my life and stay healthy. Okay. And so I started looking at, my carbs was basically white rice. Mm-hmm. I'm a vegetarian, so I didn't eat any meat at all. I do eat eggs. So I ate a lot of eggs, tons of eggs, and I ate a lot of green vegetables. I like greens, and I like spinach, and I like broccoli. I love that. So that wasn't a problem for me. The rice wasn't a problem with me. What was a problem for me was just maintaining my weight. I think at one time I started off as a bantamweight. And, the whole thing is get big. You got to put on some more muscle size, So one year I got up to 180, and that was the biggest I ever was. and I was big, I was strong, and it was packed on pretty symmetrically, but I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel agile. I've always been an agile person. You know, I studied Kung Fu for a few years. I've always been a flexible person, but when I put on the weight, I didn't feel like I wanted to feel. It wasn't the feel that I was looking for. So I just stayed at lightweight. I didn't try to go up any higher. But the foods that I ate were just the basic foods. There was nothing out of the ordinary. You know, all vegetables. A few starchy carbs when I needed them, when my body called for them. But nothing special. I didn't have anything special. Even back then, you know, all the vegetarian protein sources that's out now wasn't out. You know, now, you know, you can get you can get things that have a lot more protein in them that are plant-based than you could then. So it was just a basic diet of rice and egg whites and green vegetables. And I kept my workouts tight. I did get my water in on a regular basis. Supplementation, it wasn't a lot. Well, back then there was a few things out that aren't out now, like Fedra. That was some good stuff right there. That was some good stuff.
Right.
And,
y'all missed it.
Yeah, that was some good stuff. And I think back then the main protein that everybody was using was Matrix. Yeah, it was nothing special in those days. Nothing hard work.
Okay.
A lot of hard work.
That's what we're getting at,
Yeah.
because things have changed so much in between the eras. And now I think a lot of people are trying to look at it from more of a scientific aspect. What does the research say? What does the science say? And besides that, just the science. It's almost like they're trying to cheat the grind, for a lack of better terms, finding ways around, well, how can I add in my favorite food, or how can I do this? And I didn't hear you say.
No, it wasn't a lot of cheating. You stuck to your basics. And
Wait a minute, you didn't have a cheat meal?
Well,
Every week.
You know, when
you gotta have a cheat meal. That's what they say now.
Well, back then, you know, when you know, with the rice and the peanut butter and the honey, that's delicious. It's delicious, man.
Right.
That was my cheat. Every day, that was my cheat. Not, you know, after 2 or 3 hours, I couldn't wait to get to it, and it was delicious. It was fulfilling, and it made you feel good. You know, so I really didn't have an anguish for a cheat day until after the show. You know, like I said, you dry out a little bit before the show. You cut back on your carbs a little bit before the show, so you don't get that rice and peanut butter that you normally have, and in abundance that you had it in. And then right after the show, you can go and get that. But right before you step on stage, about 7 to 10 days out, you cutting back on everything. So when you get on stage and you step off, then you can do whatever you want to. But the process that you go through is something that you have to learn for yourself, because everybody's different. Everybody's body reacts a different way to the foods that they intake and when they intake them. So you have to learn that about yourself, and then you may be able to, you know, cheat a little bit or have a cheat day. Some people can't have a cheat day.
Right.
They can't, you know, no, because as soon as you have a cheat day, you can see it in your cheeks. They just blow right up. And then other people, you know, it does them good. You know, it just does them good. They look great, you know, after they had a cheat day.
Coaches now, they write out meal plans, they write out structured diets. They say eat this amount of this at this time, this. And you never did that.
Yeah.
For me, Kevin. What's up with that? You never wrote me a meal plan, man. What's up with that? Why was that?
You know, and I still don't do that today. You know, I tell people you have to, you know, it's a learning experience, and everybody is different. One meal plan, one set rules doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
And you have to trial and error and figure it out. Now, you may take a meal plan and use it, and then in a week or two come back and say, this ain't working. You know, this ain't working. And then you adjust it, and you make an adjustment. But knowing how to make the adjustments and knowing when to make the adjustments that's what a good trainer can do for you.
Mm-hmm. And
Now,
that's what you've always done. And,
Yeah.
and that's why I say that, because I'm so appreciative of it now that you did not do that,
Mhm.
because you taught me how to get in tune with my body's feedback.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
So, yeah, excellent master teacher. And you provided the guidance. You gave me the knowledge, laid out the blueprint,
Mhm.
but you were teaching me how to learn my own body.
Yeah.
So,
Student of the game.
mhm.
Mhm.